Sarah May Silphy is the Executive Director of the Monroe County Voter Registration Office. She joined us on a video we did in the spring about how to apply for the mail-in ballot, but now that the general election is here, we're still dealing with the pandemic, and I think mail-in balloting is going to be very, very crucial to the election this year. So Sarah has a mail-in sample ballot. You can see that there are different offices to vote for. Some ballots may have something on both sides. If your ballot has something on the other side, there will be a notice of that down on the bottom, right?
On the bottom, it will say vote both sides.
So the most important thing is filling out the ballot correctly and then sealing the ballot correctly in an envelope. So let's go through. You don't have to check off boxes, but let's assume that you've already done that.
Okay.
What's next for you to do?
I just want to point out,
Sure.
it tells you how many to vote for also.
Right. Just like it would if you were in the ballot box
Correct.
itself, right? If you were standing in there and it said vote for no more than 3,
Right.
you'd have 3 choices
Right.
to make.
But I believe everything's a vote for one this year anyway.
Right.
So.
That makes it easy.
Right.
Nothing on this ballot on the back side, but like we said, some of them might.
Correct.
And the other thing to think about in Monroe County is that our congressional districts split. We have the 6th district and the
7th and the 8th.
7th and the 8th, right. So
Correct.
that's something that voters will want to...
And that will differ, and the only other thing is their representatives.
Right, because again, we have 3
of
different
them.
state representatives
Right.
here in Monroe County, so you'll be voting for the candidates of your choice in those races.
Right.
Let's say we've got that ballot filled out. What do we do next?
Okay, then you fold it
Yep.
in 3, just like it was folded when you received it.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's instructions. Your packet, when it comes to you, will look like this. Inside of the envelope you received it in the
Right.
mail. Then there'll be 2 more envelopes inside and instructions. I always recommend read the instructions.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this
before
point,
you fill out your
it's
ballot.
important to say, please read the instructions.
Right. So you will take the official mail-in ballot envelope.
Right.
We call it the secrecy envelope.
It's the envelope that says official mail-in ballot right on it.
Correct. Or secrecy.
Or secrecy.
You take your ballot, you put it in this, you seal it.
Right. With your choice, you're right. Either your
Correct.
tongue or a sponge, right?
Then you take your ballot
Right.
and you put it in your return envelope.
Okay.
Your return envelope will have your name and address up here, already printed on
Already
it.
printed for you.
It will have postage already on it. You take this, you put it inside the envelope. You seal that envelope.
Right.
You sign. This is very important.
Yep.
You sign your name here. It says voter sign. Mark here. You date it with the date that you're sending it back or dropping it off. Print your name, your address, and then your city and zip code. That's
Okay.
all you have to do to return it.
Okay. Now, 2 ways to return it: in the mail or an official drop box. And we were just talking to Commissioner Christie about these. There are important dates and important times to know. So let's talk about if you want to drop that off to a collection box.
Right. So we have, as of right now, we have 5 places that you can drop your ballots.
Okay.
The Western Pocono Library in Broadensville. We'll update these too with the addresses.
Okay.
For on our website.
Okay.
I can also get them to you.
Sure.
The Pocono Mountain Public Library in Tobyhanna, the Eastern Monroe Public Library in Stroudsburg, and the Clymer Library in Pocono Pines. And then the library is not finished in Middle Smithfield Township, so Smithfield Township offered to let us put a drop box at their municipal building.
Okay.
So it will be inside the municipal building.
So you have that opportunity. Now, the other opportunity is for them to get into the mail. Now, speaking of the mail, the ballots are literally just going out as we sit here. We're about 25 days away from the election, something like that.
Correct.
So the ballots are going out. If you haven't already gotten yours, you'll get it in the next week or so.
Correct.
And then you've got to turn that around quickly because we know the mail, is we want to make sure that everybody's ballot gets back. If you're going to do it through the mail, it has to be postmarked by November 3rd, which means it's got to get to a post office by the 3rd. So
Correct.
if you're mailing it on the 2nd, it may not get to a post office on the 3rd.
Right.
So the earlier the better is really the key.
Right. The postmark is definitely crucial.
Right.
So it either needs to be mailed by November 3rd, dropped off at one of those locations
Yep.
before it closes.
Right, that's the other important thing,
Right.
because these libraries are going to be under the drop boxes are going to be at the libraries and at the the Smithfield Township building, but they have normal business hours. So when
Right.
those business hours are done on, let's say, Election Day, you won't be able to drop your ballot off after that. It'll be too late.
That's correct. And you can also drop it off here until 8 p.m. on Election Day.
Okay.
We have a drop slot in the hall, a drop mail slot that it comes into our office in a bin, like in a secure lockbox.
That literally will be the last chance for anybody to drop off a ballot.
Correct.
In those hours, after
Right.
hours on Election Day between 5 and 8 here at the courthouse.
Right.
It's a big endeavor, and I know you're putting a lot of work in, and I know that you feel, you want people to get their votes counted, right? It's all about
Absolutely,
getting the votes
yes.
counted, and hopefully people will, again, read the directions on their ballot
Right.
and get their ballots back here to Monroe
Now
County.
they can't, and just this is a good point too. They cannot drop their voted ballot off at any polling place.
Right.
So they either bring it here on Election Day, anywhere from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., or they can use a drop box or make sure it's postmarked.
Now, for those that might want to ask a question, how do you know that those drop boxes are going to be secure?
Well, they're locked. Nobody has a key but our election board here. 2 people will go to pick them up daily, and we have to log everything we pick up. And I have to log when it's returned to my office, everything.
Okay. Sarah Mae Silphy, thank you very much for the time, and we wish a smooth and speedy election process here in November.
Thank you.